My 22 female sister, Leah, 25, unexpectedly had a loss a week ago. I felt incredibly guilty because I recently found out I was pregnant as well, but I had opted to wait to tell anyone. I felt so guilty, so I elected to keep quiet about it for as long as I could, as I didn't want to take any attention away from her grief or cause her any pain. This became a problem when my family arranged a little get-together at her place to help her feel better where alcohol was involved. The night was going fine, and my sister really seemed to be smiling and enjoying herself. I was staying away from the alcohol, kind of shutting down the strange looks from my family and friends, who know I rarely turn down the opportunity to drink. Most believed my lies except my sister's friend, Ash, who approached me and asked, "Are you pregnant or something? Why aren't you drinking?" I laughed and said I had to watch out for my health and tried to change the subject. My sister saw us talking, however, and came up with the shot in her hand. She basically said that she was really glad I was here and wanted to take a shot with me. I had a feeling that Ash had told her I wasn't drinking and had come to confirm her suspicions. I turned her down and said I was happy to be in the moment with her. Leah got this teary look on her face and kind of eyed my stomach. She set the drink down and asked me slowly if I was pregnant and trying to hide it. I froze in the moment, which must have confirmed what she suspected. She burst into tears and asked again, much louder this time, which caused most of the people in her apartment to look at us. She told me to either drink the shot or tell her the truth. I wasn't sure what to do, so I just told her the truth. I tried to tell her that I didn't want to take any attention away from her pain, but she wasn't listening. She started accusing me of coming to her apartment to boast about my pregnancy and how I always got what I wanted. She also said that I shouldn't have come to the party knowing that I couldn't drink and that I knew people were going to know that I was pregnant, and basically going on about how I was attention-seeking. Our dad stepped in to calm her down because she was belligerent at this point. My boyfriend and I decided it was just best for us to leave. I even got a few quiet congrats, which I felt awful about. She's not talking to me right now, which I understand, but at the same time, all I really wanted was to be there for her. People are more so leaning on her side because she's going through a hard time right now, but I feel like I'm not being listened to. My mom told me that she understood, but that it was wrong of me to come, knowing I was pregnant. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister needs to understand that the universe is not about her. You do not appear to have done anything to boast about your pregnancy. You were discreet, and frankly, she behaved very badly. The loss is indeed a very recent one, but she's having a party put on for her and apparently enjoying it, which suggests that she's coping okay. Seems like you couldn't win here because, for some reason, nobody's allowed to be pregnant when your sister's not. That's unreasonable. 100% agree. You couldn't win either way. You would have been blasted for being unsupportive if you didn't go. You did go and have been blasted for that. You tried your best. Tip for the future: if asked why you aren't drinking, tell people you have a bad tooth or an ear infection and you're taking antibiotics. If they say, "Oh, one won't hurt," laugh and say, "Yeah, I made that mistake once before. Never again." For added realism, look up how some antibiotics interact with alcohol and claim those symptoms. This is such an easy alternative that I don't understand why people don't do it. Because sometimes you just don't think about it on the spot. I came up with every excuse on the planet, absolutely dumb ones, such as though as driving, so I want to be sympathetic, or just avoided people who I knew would ask me why I wasn't drinking. When I no longer needed an excuse, then when I was like, wait, I could have just told you I'm on antibiotics. Why didn't I use that? It's obvious. However, Ash sounds like a nasty little crap stirrer. You never ask someone if they're pregnant in the company of someone who's having a loss or not. OP didn't need to come up with an excuse on the spot. She knew exactly what she was getting into. You are the idiot. Hear me out. Something in this story reeks of you wanting people to find out that you were pregnant without saying it out loud to them. Why couldn't you just have held a glass of water the whole night, pretended to drink, or have a ginger ale, or another bevy that looked like a real thing? You clearly say they expected you to drink. You knew they were going to ask you why you weren't drinking. You should have either not come or have prepared a plausible lie. Honestly, I feel like you wanted them to find out. I'm a 40-year-old female with a 40-year-old boyfriend, and this will be our 3rd year as a couple. I make more money than he does, but we're both doing okay financially. Every year, my birthday is about a month before my boyfriend's. For his birthday, I usually plan a nice dinner out, get reservations and a babysitter, and then get him a nice gift. He enjoys sports and concerts, so tickets to a game or a concert in a nearby city are always purchased months beforehand. I'll also line up and pay for dinner in a hotel with the concert or sports game, so it's kind of like 2 birthday celebrations. However, on my birthday, I assume he forgets in the morning because he says nothing, then comes home and asks me where I want to eat. So obviously, it has to be a place that doesn't take reservations and does take kids. Then he gives me a small gift, flowers and a necklace from Amazon year 1, a fuzzy robe and blanket year 2, and calls it good. So after my birthday this year, when we ate out last minute and I received a similar gift, I decided to sell the concert tickets and just do a similar birthday for him. I asked him where he wanted to eat the night of his birthday, took him out to eat there, no kids, and gave him a small gift, new wallet and a tie. He looked confused when opening his gift, and now he says he's really disappointed we're not taking a fun little trip together for his birthday like we normally do. I said I'm tired of putting more time, effort, and significantly more money into his birthday when he barely seems to remember mine. It started a big argument. He says to me, I'm never good enough. So I effectively ruined his birthday, and I feel terrible about that. Am I the idiot? Edit. It's hard for me because whenever we talk about me not feeling his effort in the relationship, it always blows up into him saying, I'm never good enough for you, and an argument ensues. So I thought maybe actions would communicate better. Clearly, that idea of mine was a terrible one, though. Not the idiot. You scaled back your birthday celebrations and treats to his level of planning and performance. Fair play. If he steps up his game for your next birthday, you will for his. If not, not. But it would help if you had an actual conversation with him. I can't imagine being upset over something like this for a few years and never telling my partner or talking to them about what's bothering me. While others have told you you need to communicate more, you are communicating by making his birthday special. He knows exactly how you feel on your birthday. Mirroring his behavior isn't petty. It opens the door for productive conversation. The ball is in his court now. Either he will continue his behavior on your birthday, knowing exactly how it makes you feel and exactly what the result will be next year on his, or he'll change. You did the right thing. I agree. What conversation was needed? You're modeling his skills or lack of skills. That's a conversation he will remember. It is absolutely exhausting to keep having to spell these things out. You already asked for more effort in the relationship. Until something changes, you can't keep giving 100% to someone, only giving 50%. He's being selfish about the whole thing. The other day, I went out to lunch with 4 mom friends. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so is one of the other moms. Of the other 3, one works part-time and the other 2 full-time. One of the moms who works full-time mentioned that they had started paying for a cleaner to come in every other week. They both work full-time, have 2 kids, and can't keep up with all the chores. The other stay-at-home mom agreed with her about finding it difficult to keep the house clean when her husband only does a few chores inside the house. She told us her husband's main jobs are cooking dinner, cleaning the bathrooms, and looking after the yard. In my opinion, that's a more than fair distribution of chores, considering her husband works full-time. They only have 1 child, a tween female, and no pets. I told her that it sounded pretty fair and that my husband has 0 cleaning chores and mostly only cooks on the weekends if he wants. I told her that as he works full-time to provide for our family, I consider it my job to do most of the household chores. This isn't gender related in my opinion. If we both worked, I would agree about splitting the chores equally. Or if I worked and he didn't, I wouldn't expect him to do most of the housework. I have 5 children. The youngest 2 aren't in school, and I'm a carer for my husband's grandmother. Yet still, it's easy to set aside a couple of hours a day for household chores. She strongly disagreed with me, and she thinks her husband should be doing more, and told me couples should split housework equally. I told her that I think she's being ungrateful to her husband, who allows her to be a stay-at-home mom, even now that their child is older. I've asked her what she does all day, if she expects him to do half the chores, and that she just wants an excuse to be lazy. In the end, lunch was ruined. She called me anti-feminist and an idiot. 2 of our friends took her side, telling me off for judging her. Was I the idiot here? I feel like I was pointing out the obvious. I'm also a stay-at-home mom, but my youngest kids are only toddlers and preschoolers. I'm pretty busy, but having one kid who's already a tween and obviously is at school all day, how busy could she possibly be? When my older kids were that age, I had a lot more time for things. It sounds like her husband does his fair share. Maybe telling her this at a group lunch wasn't the best idea, but it came up, so I get why you said something. Unless she's somewhat disabled or has another reason she can't cover most of the housework, I'm going with not the idiot. I disagree. You are the idiot. Sometimes people just want to vent. Sometimes people just want a kind ear who will listen to them because they are a stay-at-home mom and they mainly talk to their child all day. But you thought it was more important to insult this person instead? What did you expect to happen? That your friend would say, "Oh my gosh, OP, you're right. I'm a lazy idiot and I need to do better. Thank you so much for helping me to see the error of my own ways." Saying your husband can't even take care of his grandma and just throws everything on OP's shoulders is awful. Her husband doing nothing in his home of 8 people is not a brag of any sort. That's just sad and pathetic. Just because she's good with a domestically useless husband doesn't mean everyone else has to settle for that crap. She's just convinced herself this is the way and wants to drag her friend along for the ride because otherwise she'd be angry. OP is extremely jealous that her friend's life appears easier than hers and still wants to vent. It's not her friend's fault that OP's husband doesn't want to help out more around the house. On top of that, he dumps caring for 5 children and another adult, his mother, on OP's tired shoulders because he's allowed her to be a stay-at-home mom. OP wants everyone to suffer like she is. Otherwise, they have to shut up and not complain. Misery loves company. My daughter turns 18 in a couple of months. She came to me and asked if she could have the experience of sneaking out. She told me who she would be with, what she'd be doing, and when I said yes, I didn't tell my husband, her stepdad. Well, she didn't put her screen back on the window. When my husband noticed, he came to talk to me about it. I told him that I permitted her to sneak out. He wants to punish her. I said no because I gave her permission. He's really upset, and it looks like this is going to ruin Thanksgiving. She's a good kid and currently has all A's. He's been in her life since she was 5, and we sometimes butt heads about parenting styles. I just wanted to ask, am I the idiot? You're the mother. He's the stepfather, and you gave her permission. It's not even sneaking out because you gave permission. It was role-playing sneaking out. Your husband is being a giant idiot. Not the idiot for not punishing her. It'd be sadistic to punish her for something you told her she could do. You're the mother, he's the stepfather? Well, I get the intent of this. It is far from a healthy viewpoint to look at it like this. His step status shouldn't be in question, especially since he's been in her life for 12 years. The fact is, the mother gave permission, and that should be enough. But imagine the father, step or otherwise, not being told by the mother about this at all. Why was he left in the dark about it by the woman he married? Perhaps that's why he's upset. He feels like he still doesn't belong. Well, it can't be called sneaking out if everyone knows about it. I'm sorry, but the idea of a daughter asking for permission to sneak out It's just so cute. Good kids trying to be bad and have a tiny rebellious phase. Not the idiot. And what an amazing duo. She wanted a different experience, and she asked for it. The fact that she messed up shows only one thing. She hasn't done that before and made mistakes that she wouldn't have made if it hadn't been the first time. I don't feel like you're an idiot for not telling your husband. Yes, he's been in her life for 12 years. He's a father to her, but it would definitely not be a sneak out if everyone knew. He says I'm a liar because I didn't tell him. He has calmed down now. He no longer wants to punish her, but his feelings are hurt. But she sneaked out the same day she asked, told me what she was going to do and with whom. I didn't see this as a big issue, but now I think I made a mistake by not telling him. Oh, honey, you have a husband problem, not a daughter problem. I'm sorry to say this, but his behavior is definitely inappropriate for the situation. Your daughter asked you to go out, but in a fun way, allowing her to sneak out, to have the experience of having done that, and you know she's not in a dangerous situation because you trust each other. Your husband is showing some controlling behavior that may not be noticeable due to his showing it as a worry. I, 35 male, yelled at my wife, 32, after she took my son's phone after he got a B on his report card. My son and my wife get home before I do. Today was the last day of his grading cycle, and he got all A's except for one B. He takes school very seriously, and I wouldn't even punish him for a C or an F if it's a one-time thing. It's Friday, so he's usually on his Xbox with his friends. When I asked my wife where he was, she told me she grounded him for getting a B on his report card. At first I thought she was joking because I couldn't fathom being that strict on him. When I asked her where he really was, she looked confused. When I realized she was serious, I told her to give him his phone back. I told her she would not punish him for any reason, even if it was justified. She told me that was stupid and she should have equal say. This might make me an idiot, but I laughed at her response and told her that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. I told her just because she's his new stepmother doesn't mean she gets an equal say in his punishment, especially if she's going to punish him wrongfully. She told me a B is nothing to be proud of. I told her that's subjective, and I doubt he's proud of it. She called me an idiot for not letting her be a mom. I think I should mention that me and his mom are still friends and talk to each other, so her wanting to be his mom isn't realistic. Am I the idiot in all of this? Not the idiot times 2. He has a mother and a father, you. His stepmother is your wife and not his mother. She must run any proposed punishments by you. Punishment for a B is entirely out of line. This looks more like a power play than any reasonable expectation for a child. Be watchful for other, more subtle signs of abuse. I was a little shocked when you said she's never allowed to punish him, but then you revealed that she's a step-parent, so that makes sense. Even if she's right, she's not, and a B is nothing to be proud of. It's definitely not something to be punished for. She does know her B's from her D's, right? Oh, also, if this is about you not letting her be a mom, she had to have known this when she got together with you, so that's on her too. Grounding someone for a B is ridiculous. Grounding your brand new stepson for a grade, for goodness sake, without discussing it with the parent, is even more ridiculous. Asserting she has an equal say in discipline to you is concerning. Assuming she's a mom to a kid who already has a mom is, well, a red flag. Not the idiot for defending your son, but you are for subjecting him to your wife. I guarantee that this is just the tip of the iceberg.